This week, the International Energy Agency IEA unveiled a sobering reality. Methane emissions from the energy sector stubbornly persisted near record highs in 2023, according to the IEA's latest report. Methane, a potent greenhouse gas, originates from human activities like oil and natural gas production, agriculture, and landfills. Despite its shorter lifespan in the atmosphere compared to carbon dioxide, methane is significantly more effective at trapping heat, contributing substantially to global warming. The IEA report underscores that these emissions have played a pivotal role driving approximately one-third of the observed increase in global temperatures since the Industrial Revolution. In 2023, the production and utilization of fossil fuels pumped over 120 million metric tons of methane into the atmosphere, marking a slight uptick from the previous year, the report highlighted. Particularly alarming was the revelation that the large methane plumes from leaky fossil fuel infrastructure surged by 50% compared to 2022. Notably, one significant event, a well blowout in Kazakhstan lasting over 200 days, was detected by satellites, underscoring the scale of the issue. The energy sector is the second largest source of methane emissions from human activities. The incomplete combustion of gas and flares is a leading cause of methane emissions. Among the key findings of the IEA's report, close to 70% of methane emissions from fossil fuels come from top 10 emitting countries. The United States and Russia lead in methane emissions from oil and gas operations, while China dominates in the coal sector. India is not among the 10 worst polluters. Globally, fossil fuel operations released approximately 170 billion cubic meters of methane in 2023, surpassing Qatar's natural gas production. Methane emissions intensity in oil and gas production varies greatly, with Norway and Netherlands demonstrating the lowest intensities and Turkmenistan and Venezuela the highest. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates also maintain relatively low emissions intensities. The report highlights cutting methane emissions from fossil fuels by 75% by 2030 is vital to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Full implementation of COP28 and other places would cut fossil fuel methane emissions by 50%, according to the report. The report further says that around 40% of today's methane emissions from fossil fuels could be avoided at no net cost. The report also highlights that access to improved methane emissions data is increasing. In 2023, Kairos and GHGSat introduced satellite-based tools to monitor methane emissions, while UNEP's Mars system enhanced satellite usage for detecting emission events. However, most regions still rely on insufficient data for reporting, leading to underestimations. For example, if emissions reported to UNEP were globally representative, estimates would be significantly lower. Resolving these discrepancies requires systematic and transparent data usage. Nonetheless, all assessments underscore the urgency for renewed action from governments, companies, and financial actors on methane emissions from fossil fuel operations. This visual shows changes in atmospheric methane concentrations from 1990 to 2023. This shows the sources of methane emissions. In fact, it is representing the data of year 2023. The maximum contribution or maximum source of methane emissions is from wetlands, which is natural. But if we talk about the man-made, top one is agriculture, second is energy, third waste, fourth is others, and then biomass burning. The new oil and gas decarbonization charter, which was undertaken in COP28, could cut emissions by nearly 20 million tons. For such updates, please keep visiting our website enviroannotations.com and avail one paid subscription. I request you to avail one paid subscription.